Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I'm Susan Slater. I'm President and CEO of Habitat for Humanity of Washington, D.C. And before I go any further, I just want to recognize all of the staff from from D.C. Habitat who have been instrumental in making this now a tree-free zone right now. You're sitting exactly where a forest was. But I'm very pleased to welcome you to the groundbreaking of our newest development of Habitat Homes here in Skyland. We believe that housing is more than just where you live, and that no social problem, not wealth disparity, educational achievement, or any of the severe health challenges that the people of DC face can be solved without a stable home. It is the foundation in all ways. And I am so honored that the mayor, who has been an extraordinary leader in housing in DC and actually nationwide, is here with us today for this groundbreaking. We have been in existence for 33 years, and we've built all of the houses that you see around here, 34 of them. And these will be finishing up the last 8. We believe that affordable home ownership changes the economic arc of families' lives, and it changes it for generations. We are so pleased that the mayor is with us. We also want to recognize a number of other very, very important people. We also have Interim Director Drew Hubbard. We have Joe Laments from United Bank. And we also have Vaughn Perry from the Douglas Community Land Trust. Vaughn, can you raise your hand? Oh, great. Okay. And what I'd like to do now is just say that we are so fortunate that we have a mayor with the vision and the leadership that she has exemplified nationwide. And we would not be standing on this land if DHCD had not sold it to us. So it's all your fault, Mayor Bowser. And on that note, I will turn it over to the mayor.
As I like to say sometimes, Susan, when you're happy, blame me. When you're not so happy, blame me. Because at the end of the day, the people of Washington, D.C. are very focused on making sure we're all working together to deal with our city's big issues. And affordability and safe housing is one of our city's big issues. So I want to thank you for your leadership at Habitat and for all that Habitat does. And I also want to thank you for your leadership in leading the Housing Production Trust Fund Board. As the chair, you know well how much we have invested in this fund and how much good it is doing in helping us meet our goals. We have committed $1 billion to the Housing Production Trust Fund in 7 short years. And that is going to help us reach our goals by 2025. As you know, D.C. government is on a mission to build 36,000 new homes by 2025, with 12,000 designated as below market units. And as I say all the time, every affordable housing project moves us closer to that number. So in preparation for today's event, the Habitat team reminded me that they've been at Skyland for about as long as the city has. In the late 90s and early 2000s, they were responsible for constructing 34,000 homes, and now they're back. And what's different this time is, of course, the addition of the Douglas Community Land Trust efforts to partner with them, and their contribution of $640,000. So that is a good partnership. We know that people in every part of the city want similar things: safe and affordable housing, great schools, great grocery stores, restaurants, and places to go. And together, that's what we're delivering at Skyland. So dish down the road at the town center, we already cut the ribbon on new housing and a new bank, and we're in the process of delivering a new grocery store, a Lidl, a drive-through Starbucks, and multiple restaurants, including Have Smoke, that were made possible by the city's investment with the food access grants. So I am very happy to be here with you today. I'm looking forward to what this project delivers for the community and the new residents who will take advantage of fantastic housing. So I want to thank you for that. I know we're also going to have brief remarks from Drew Hubbard, who is the director of DHCD, and I'll introduce him now.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's great to be here at Skyland with one of our great partners here in this quest for affordable housing. The name Habitat generally and Habitat DC largely speaks for itself. It carries great weight because we know what we're getting in a partner when we partner with Habitat. And that's evidenced by some of the other projects that they've completed, including the demonstration project at Ivy City, the Langston Slater School Campus in Truxton Circle, and their homes at 28th Place in Randall Highlands, and now today's project at Skyland. We know what we're getting, and that's quality, and a partner that is committed to affordable housing and homeownership here in the District of Columbia for our residents. In that vein, it's great to be in Mayor Bowser's administration and fighting towards these goals of affordable housing. In addition to building new units of housing, homeownership and otherwise, in this fiscal year 22 budget, there's also $23.5 million to help low-income first-time homebuyers with down payment and closing cost assistance through our HPAP and other similar programs. I expect homeowners will come here to use those resources. And just this year, the district released a new one-stop shop to support homeownership in D.C. With Mayor.dc.gov, you have a website where folks can go and find all the resources they need to strive towards homeownership in the District of Columbia. Front Door connects current and future homeowners to more than 50 resources, including buying a home, making repairs and improvements, and saving money on property taxes, and getting help paying your mortgage. So, again, that's frontdoordc.gov. We encourage homeowners or potential homeowners to check that out. There's no doubt that that's an important resource that homeowners will begin to and continue to use, and we need to really look at promoting that. So just in closing, just also like to reference, we work with a network of community-based organizations, 14 of which that we fund over $10 million to have resources for our residents to have one-on-one interaction with folks that can help them in their journey. In addition, as was mentioned, the Douglas Community Land Trust, just this year, there's $2 million in the budget for that purpose. So you see where the mayor puts her resources in this serious quest for homeownership here in the District of Columbia. So with that, as we look to end Fair Shot Week, where the Bowser administration has been highlighting various new and existing programs designed to give Washingtonians a fair shot and accelerate the district's economic recovery, I want to remind folks that the Department of Housing and Community Development is here to do just that. Give you a fair shot in your search for affordable housing, whether you are in one of the 8 homes with Habitat or elsewhere. We want to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Hubbard. We deeply appreciate your commitment and your staff. I want to briefly introduce Joe Laments. These homes are financed through New Market tax credits. And Avi, do you want to raise your hand? A lot of this is the brainchild of Avi Fechner, who is created a home ownership tax credit structure that's very unusual. Joe and I have been living with it since 2016, but it is financing. And if there's a problem, I call Joe. Joe has been the huge support and the reason why we're standing here today, and one of the main key people in having this all happen. So, Joe Laments.
I wasn't kidding. I didn't have a cane until I started doing this stuff. My name's Joe Laments. I'm the managing director of United Bank's Community Development and Nonprofit Lending Group, and in that capacity, we do a lot of affordable housing in the district and in, quite frankly, 7 or 8 other states that we cover. Your Honor, I would say that in that footprint that we have, no other jurisdiction that we're familiar with has the resources in the toolbox that the city has. It blows people away in South Carolina when you talk about what we're able to do up here. So, Susan, you mentioned earlier this is, I guess, the end cap, 8 units of an effort that's been underway since the early 1990s. And the number of individuals that have been safely housed with these initiatives is amazing. You mentioned New Market Tax Credit. It's not for the faint of heart. It's brain damage. Thank you, Avi, wherever you are. But the interesting aspect of that financing is that this is not the only project that those same dollars have financed. We did 23 units with you guys in a couple different locations. Another noted affordable developer just finished 12 units. Those dollars have been recycled through all these projects and even into things that don't necessarily, I should say, react to affordable housing. If affordable housing is the proactive approach to solving our issues, if you don't do that right, there's the reactive side, which is rehab, reentry, etc. We've rolled some of those dollars into those kind of projects as well. So it's an amazing tool. We got great folks. We have amazing support from the city administration. I'm just happy to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Last but certainly not least, I want to introduce Vaughn Perry, who's one of the founding members of the Douglas Community Land Trust. And in so many ways, this investment is a pilot and is a very, very important step in furthering the affordability of home ownership.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you to Susan. Thank you to Mayor Bowser, to Director Hubbard, to Deputy Mayor Faucio. It's certainly my pleasure to be with you all today. I stand with you as a longtime resident of Ward 8, but also as a board member of the Douglas Community Land Trust, along with my fellow board member, chair of the Property Acquisition Committee, Mechi Martinez. Douglas Community Land Trust is thrilled to be here today to formally kick off the pilot ownership program with the DC Habitat for Humanity. When we first started talking with Habitat about this project, it was apparent that our organizations are very well synced around creating and preserving ownership housing that is affordable to DC residents with low incomes. But more than that, we're in agreement about advancing racial and economic equity. Community Land Trust came out of the civil rights movement, and we at Douglas CLT honor and build on that legacy and the legacy of Frederick Douglass. As a membership nonprofit, we secure and maintain nonstop affordability for current and future generations of homebuyers, renters, and local business owners across the entire Douglas Commonwealth. This means that we're not just helping to secure affordability for the 8 new families who will live here, but the 8 families after them and the 8 after them. And while we're pleased to invest financially in this project, our investment goes far beyond that. The Douglas CLT model works through community ownership of land and collective stewardship. We're here for the long haul. The community part is critical because when we talk about equity, we're also talking about community power and decision making. This is what the CLT model adds. And it's been proven that successful community land trusts have municipal support. And so, Mayor Bowser, we're thankful for your administration's support, and we look forward to working with staff at DHCD to accomplish far more, enabling more DC residents to be able to thrive here. Again, Susan and the crew from Habitat, we thank you for the partnership and look forward to future projects across the city. Thank you.
That was fantastic. Thank you. I just want to end with thanking everyone who has come and recognizing that we have donors here, we have many of our volunteers, we have homeowners, we have many of the DC Habitat staff. I just want to recognize all of you and thank you for your commitment to this project and the tremendous work that all of you have put in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan, and thanks, everyone. I understand we have some press questions.
Mayor Bowser, on topic
Sure.
first, could you just talk a little bit about, why partnering with Habitat for Humanity and building these homes here is so important to your goal of affordable housing and expanding affordable housing?
Well, we like to partner with Habitat because they know what they're doing. They have a long track record in the district. You've already heard from the speakers that affordable housing projects, the financing and putting all the pieces together is difficult. So when we look for partners, we prefer partners with a good track record.
And if I could ask off topic,
Yep.
the council just finished their weekly briefing with Department of Health and HCMA on the COVID. Yesterday, you released data, the highest one-day total for new cases since the pandemic began more than 20 months ago. Several of the council members on the call this morning reiterated calls for you to reinstitute the indoor mask mandate. I'm just wondering, what is your word as we head in again to a holiday week to the citizens when they see these numbers coming up and they hear from other elected leaders urging you to reinstate the mask mandate?
Well, the council certainly has an ability to act on a number of issues as they have. And as we have always said throughout this pandemic, Mark, as it evolves, we evolve. Our team, and I wasn't on the call, so I can't speak to the discussion, but I will be having very in-depth conversations with my team today to see if we need to make any changes in our response. But no one should be surprised that in the winter months, cases go up. They're going up across the country and they're going up in places in the world. What's new is that we have a vaccine, a safe and effective vaccine that is keeping people from being hospitalized and have the number of people who have succumbed to COVID also depressed. So that's a good thing. But what is also different is this variant, Omicron, and its transmissibility. We're learning about that. We continue to learn about how the vaccines and therapeutics are effective against it, but we also see the pretty rapid transmissibility of Omicron. So I expect that that's going to warrant some changes in course for us around our emergency response. And when I know more, we'll report it to the people of the district.
So if I could just follow up, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
Sure.
when you say you expect that will result in changes to your response and that you're meeting with your team to take a deep dive into looking at what can be done, are you looking again at considering reinstating the mask mandate?
Let me be clear about mask, Mark. It is the position of the District of Columbia. We have a mask advisory in place from the Department of Health that says everyone should wear a mask indoors during rates of high transmission. We are in a rate of high transmission, so everyone should be wearing a mask indoors according to our health guidance. If something changes and we're saying that everybody has to wear a mask indoors, effectively, that doesn't change anything in the district. But that is on the table as well as other interventions or other administrative responses that we need to be prepared for this phase of the pandemic.
And sorry, just to further follow up on that, what time is this meeting today?
I didn't say I was having a meeting today, nor would I tell you what time it was if I was having a meeting today. I meet with my staff. We started meeting at 8 a.m. To talk about these issues. We outlined some very specific questions that we need to answer about testing, about vaccines, about increased access, about what's happening at schools, which is probably, on the top of our list. But residents should be doing the exact same things. If you haven't been boosted, you need to get your booster. If you haven't been vaccinated, you need to immediately get vaccinated. If your kids that are over 5 years old have not been vaccinated, they need to get vaccinated. If you feel sick, you need to stay home. If you are going to social events, you might want to think about if you need to go or not. Limit those events. Stay in a closer bubble. Wear a mask indoors. That includes in public spaces, and that includes in private homes and in other settings where you're not sure. figure out how you can get tested before you can go to social events. Either go to one of our public testing sites, get an at-home test, but know what you're doing when you're presenting yourself to your friends and family, and get tested before you go. The thing that we know preliminarily about this variant is that it's highly transmissible, and the symptoms are pretty mild. So even unlike Delta even, or the original virus that presented, a lot of people may not know that they have it and are circulating with it. So please be mindful of your status before you're circulating at family events and other events.
Are capacity limits something that you would consider reinstating if that's what this board, that your team decided was an effective thing to do?
I don't think anybody is talking about that in the district, but we are asking people, and keep in mind, this is an evolving variant, and we're going to follow it closely and do what's best for DC.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, groundbreaking, what we're here for. How about that? Right here. Okay. A short one. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All right.
Can we have one with the A&C Commissioner for Ward 8, please?